right. Nearly a quarter of all holiday consumers plan to take on debt to fill their shopping list, according to a new survey by Bread Financial.
But there are ways to reduce the strain on your budget. For that, let's go to consumer investigator Christine Lazar. Hey, Christine.
Hi, Jamie. So the average consumer this year is expected to spend about $1,100 on holiday gifts, and that's up about $200 from last year, according to a new analysis by NerdWallet. And with so many people living paycheck to paycheck, most will pay for those gifts on credit. I'm joined now by consumer savings expert Andrea Woroch. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me today.
So I think when it comes to the holidays, there's so much pressure to give people gifts, and people often feel embarrassed to not do that or to not spend a certain amount. But that can run us into debt. So how do we get around that?
Yes, and I think a lot of people are willing to go into debt to give gifts, but nobody wants you to do that. And so it's really important to set gift expectations early. Do it now before people buy gifts so you don't fall into that awkward situation. Do it one-on-one. You don't have to divulge your entire financial situation, but just say, you know, I'm on a budget. I'm trying to maybe save for something, whether it's a vacation or paying off debt. And then suggest a new tradition. Maybe it's giving gifts to just the kids, or do a secret Santa exchange. Maybe you're also just spending time together, going to a holiday show. You'll realize that a lot of people feel the same way. And so by setting those gift expectations early, it'll alleviate the pressure, and so you don't feel like you have to buy everybody a big gift.
And a lot of times we go in with the best intentions and we think, I'm not going to get into debt this year, but then we forget about those hidden costs over the holidays. And you brought up some really good ones. Explain what those are and why we should be thinking about them.
So a lot of people budget for gifts, but they forget that there are these smaller expenses that we spend more on this time of year, whether it's those customized greeting cards, gift wrap, groceries to bake or to feed out-of-town guests, new holiday attire, school fundraisers. I mean, the list goes on. And so you can't forget about those. You have to plan for them, set a realistic budget, but also look over your statement from last November, December, figure out what you spent on, what really mattered, what didn't, what can you cut back on, and then you might have to spend less on gifts or less on travel in order to afford it all, but having that realistic budget is important. And then when you do make your gift list, use a gift tracking app like Santa's Bag. This will help keep you on budget.
Oh, that's great. And that's a good point, that to look at your budget from last year, to look at your statements from last year. Okay, so holiday shopping season just around the corner. What do you anticipate in terms of sales? Are we going to see better sales, worse sales, kind of the same?
A lot of consumers are stressed, but I have some good news. Retail buyers secured their holiday merchandise earlier than ever to beat the tariffs. So there's still going to be plenty of sales, maybe not as many, but plenty of deep discounts to enjoy over Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Just make sure that you start tracking prices on the gifts you want to buy. There are tools like Karma or Keepa. This will alert you if there are any limited time deals maybe dropping earlier in November that you would have missed out on, so you could get the best price. Also track historical pricing data with camel.com. And then just make sure you're layering coupons with cashback. I love Shopback. This is a cashback app that will give you 3 to 10 times cashback compared to competitor sites that I noticed. And they even give you cashback for Amazon. Then during those holiday sales events, they'll boost their cashback, so you're going to get even more from partner retailers. And then that money goes to your account. You can then transfer it to PayPal, use it to pay off your credit card statement or get some last minute gifts. It's like free money. So great way to give your budget a little extra boost.
I need to be better about those apps. Okay, one more question for you. A lot of us, paid for summer camp vacations over summer, and we might be carrying a balance, carrying a lot of debt from then. What do we do if we don't want to roll that debt into the holidays?
Yeah, it's really important to kind of pay attention to what your balance is. Obviously, paying everything with cash would be the best step, but that's not an option for everybody right now living on tight budgets. Use a balance transfer card. This is going to allow you to move that debt from summer from a high interest account to a new credit card offering 0% interest for a year or more. This is going to give you time to get through the holidays where you can make that minimum payment on the card without that interest accruing. Then in the new year, commit to a debt repayment plan to help you pay it off before that interest kicks back in. It's going to save you a lot of money, alleviate a lot of stress. And you can go to cardrates.com for those cards.
Okay, and last thing before we go, and we've talked about those 4 tips for staying on budget.
Yep, so budget ahead, and you really want to prepare your finances based on what you're going to be spending on. Create that gifting game plan, set gift expectations, create new traditions when it comes to gifting, and then pay off your credit card or use that balance transfer card to at least alleviate some of that stress you might be feeling this time of year.
And those balance transfers, that is good because you get that 0%. I did one 23 months and I put the braces on that and then just divided it over 23 months.
Exactly, it's so
I didn't
helpful.
have to pay for it up front.
Just make sure you don't rack up a balance on the original card where you move the debt from.
True.
If I would just cut it up or hide it, and this won't put you back into debt.
Try going for cash. All right. Thanks
Yeah.
so much, Andrea. You
Thank
always
you.
have great tips.